Hi, and welcome back. This is Zach from Locator Gaming. I'm going to do another video about some snack foods that you can have for a board game night. We're still doing some testing on equipment and editing and stuff, so this is going to be kind of a shorter one, just one recipe, and then actually kind of a discussion about charcuterie boards. So what I'm going to do today is a kind of like a ham pickle roll thing. That'll be the recipe, and then we'll talk about the charcuterie boards. So I had a good suggestion from Rob at Rob's Gaming Table to put a disclaimer at the start of the videos on how messy these snack items are going to be in these videos to know if they should be anywhere near the gaming table or not. So today, stuff that we're going to talk about is not that messy, but it's probably still best to have at a break in between games. The ham and pickle rolls, but you might get a little moisture on your fingers from the ham on the outside. And then the charcuterie board or grazing board is probably just like a good snack in between. Or if you're not having anything that's too drippy and it just maybe some crackers and some meat, then you could have some little plates at the table maybe. Okay, so we'll just dive right down and start on the recipe. Okay, for the ham and pickle rolls, they're going to be super easy. We just need some small pickles. I've got two different kinds. You don't have to use the two different kinds. I'm just doing this for demonstrative purposes. You want to get the real small ones. You'll see them more when we're building them, but you want the really small pickles. Some of them that say baby pickles on them, and these are dill. Some of the ones that say baby can still be a little bit big, so you just want to make sure you look in the jar and get the small little pickles. And then these are cornichons. They have a little bit of a different flavor. This particular brand has some little pearl onions, and I think there might even be some garlic in here. But there's also some mustard seeds, just a little bit of a different flavor. But you can use any kind of these little small pickles that you like. I've never tried it with a sweet pickle. I always use like dill pickles. And then you're going to need some cream cheese that's going to be softened and some thinly sliced ham. Okay, so you want the cream cheese to be soft. I don't think I have let mine sit out long enough here during filming for it to get soft. So let me show you that one thing that I do, because you really need it to be spreadable onto the ham because you don't want to break the ham apart. So what sometimes I'll do is I'll break a little piece off like that, and then you can kind of like work it inside of a bowl with a knife to get it a little more spreadable against the hard surface before you start trying to spread it onto the ham. Okay, so what I do to build these, this is super simple and it's going to be super quick. I usually will fold the ham piece in half, and then hopefully your cream cheese is softened enough. You want to hold that and spread some cream cheese onto the ham. Try to get it around it pretty even. See, I already broke a little piece there, but that's fine. Get some cream cheese on the ham, and then you take one of your pickles and you just roll it like that. That's really all there is to it, just a ham cream cheese pickle roll. Put that on the plate. I'll do one more of that size. Fold that ham in half. Spread some cream cheese around. Then I'm going to show you how I do it with the cornichons. Because they're so small, you're going to want to put two in there. So this is what I was talking about, maybe not at the game table, because when someone's eating it, they might be touching the ham. Or if you really wanted to, you could put toothpicks down in these, and then they're holding a toothpick. I doubt the pickles will drip onto a game, but there's always that possibility. So if you had a little plate, little paper plate or something for somebody to use, spread the cream cheese, and then I'll do one with the cornichons and see how like two of the cornichons, let me get that cream cheese off my finger, is about the same as one of these small pickles. So we got two of those, and we'll roll it up inside this ham. And then I'm just going to go through and make some more of these to make a platter of the ham and pickle rolls. Then you can leave these in the fridge and pull them out in between a game or in between a couple of games for a little snack time. Okay, so here they are done. I moved them to a smaller plate because I'm not going to make very many right now, but this is like super simple and it actually tastes really good. You can have these not just for board game nights, but maybe as an appetizer. I mean, the holidays are coming up here pretty soon from when I'm recording this. So people are coming over to the house. This is a nice little bite. And I'm going to move on to talking about the charcuterie boards now, and you'll see why I'm talking about that and this together in just a minute. Okay, so the other thing I wanted to touch on in this video was charcuterie boards or grazing boards, or what we probably have seen them mostly at gatherings is just like a cheese, meat, and cracker platter. I know in my family, almost every holiday when I was growing up, there was always like a cheese, meat, and cracker platter. But I wanted to talk about it because there's a couple of things you can do to spice it up a little bit or add a couple more flavors to it. Generally in a charcuterie board, there's going to be 5 categories of items: cured meats, cheese, something sweet, crunchy stuff, and then pickled stuff. So what made me think about this with the ham and pickle rolls is you got 3 of these items in those ham and pickle rolls. You've got the cured meat from the ham, there's cream cheese for the cheese, and then the pickled thing is obviously the pickle that's in there. So this is another thing that you could make a cheese and cracker platter board. You know, put a couple of pickled items on it, and maybe some grapes or some jam or a couple of sliced apples on there, and just make your cheese and meat platter with a couple more flavors on it. So what I have here, and you wouldn't have to put all of this stuff on your platter or out for people to sample off of. I've got ham, salami, and pepperoni for my cured meats. You could have mortadello, or you could do some prosciutto or something like that. That's going to get a little more on the expensive side. If you did all of this stuff that's out here, it would be pretty expensive. So you kind of just want to probably pick and choose. I just got a lot of stuff just to sample and show you. I got some cheddar cheese that I'll cut up, some pepper jack cheese, some Havarti that's creamy, and some brie that's creamy. Generally on a charcuterie board, I think they like to do a hard cheese, a medium cheese, and a soft cheese. I don't really have a hard cheese here, so I'm just going to go with this stuff, the cheddar, pepper jack, Havarti, and brie. I've got some regular Ritz butter crackers, and then some water crackers for crunchy. I've also got, these are Marcona almonds. I kind of like these almonds. They can get a little bit pricey though, so these will probably just be like if you really want the selection, and if you like the flavor, I like these. But the other thing I also really like are these like flavored almonds. Like these are smokehouse almonds, or maybe some wasabi almonds would add some spice or something to it. For the fruit, like I said, I'm going to slice up some apples. I've got here apricot jam. I've never actually tried it with apricot jam. I've had fig jam with some of these before, but this is what they had in the store, so I thought I would just try some of this. So this would be good kind of in a bite with maybe some ham and some brie. And then some grapes. We'll put some grapes on the platter. For the pickles, I mean, I still have the pickles that we use to make the ham rolls. Olives are something that generally goes on a charcuterie board also. My family doesn't like olives, so I'll probably be the only one eating these when we have ours. And then I've got some Italian, I can't ever say this word correctly, giardiniera, something like that. This is just a bunch of pickled vegetables. There's cauliflower, carrots, celery, things like that in there. And then also you could get these cherry peppers, either hot or sweet. But anything that you like that's pickled. If you go to the pickled section of your grocery store, there's going to be all kinds of stuff. Pickled asparagus, pickled okra, pickled everything, probably. One thing I will show you, though, is I'm going to show you one way that I learned how to slice apples that are good for this kind of presentation. And then we'll actually put a small board together and just see what it looks like. Okay, I'm going to show you a way to slice an apple that works well when you're having a presentation set out like this for people to take little slices. You don't need a fancy kitchen gadget that like cores apples or anything. We're going to square out the core, and then we're just going to slice it. So what I mean by squaring out the core is I will slice down a piece, and then I'm just going to go around in a square around the core. So I'm left with the core there. We will throw that away. And then you take these pieces that you have here and you can slice it into these little slices. And hopefully they don't just continue to stick to your knife like that. I usually stop on this, especially on this first piece and the later pieces when I get closer to this little wedge part. You can put it on the platter if you want to, but then you just go through all of the pieces. So then you have these slices that you can line up and present on a platter for people to take. Okay, so here's a little platter that I put together from some of the stuff that I was showing you earlier. I didn't put everything out here, but it doesn't even have to be like a pretty presentation like this. You could put each individual thing on a plate, like the crackers on a plate, the cheese on a plate, the pickles in some bowls or whatever. But something like this that might have a little bit of juice, I put in a little bowl. And if you have little forks, you can put forks for people to get the pickled stuff. And if you're going to use soft cheeses, you might want to have a knife that people can get use on the soft cheese. And if you're going to use a jam, you're obviously going to need something to spread the jam. One thing, if you are going to do a platter, that I have been told or seen is that you might want to try to put things that might be together in a bite close together. So that's why I kind of put like the ham and the brie and the apple close together, or the ham and the brie and maybe a little bit of jam on a cracker together as a bite, or maybe some pepperoni and some cheese on a cracker in a bite, or the cheddar and the salami in a cracker in a bite. One other thing is that you can vary up the way that the cheese is cut. So I did some like slices to go on crackers and then some cubes if you wanted to eat the cubes. And you also could think about maybe having a little thing of toothpicks next to it if someone wanted to use a toothpick to get like at the cheese or at the pickles or something like that. So that's pretty much it. Again, just a kind of a discussion on adding a couple more ingredients or flavors to what would generally be like a basic cracker, cheese, and meat plate. Okay, so that was another real quick video. Again, just trying to test some more stuff out and seeing how things are going. We got the ham and pickle rolls, and we had a discussion on charcuterie boards. I did get some good suggestions from comments on the last video of things to put in this particular series that people serve when they're hosting a game night. So if you have any suggestions on things that you think would be a good idea to showcase that you like to serve or would be a good snack or something, put them down in the comments below. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you in the next one.